Happy Thursday, everybody. Thank you so much for downloading or streaming the Be Our Guest podcast. The following is the live call-in show from this past Sunday night, Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, 2024, where Scotty G joins me, and we take your calls here on the open line, and we talk about some topics like, do you ever hear your hometown referenced around Walt Disney World? I do. There's a couple of attractions where they talk about St. Louis. Scott talks about where they may or may not reference where he is from. And we hear Pittsburgh a lot because that's where Pam Forrester's from. We hear it in Muppets, especially. Also, I think we also hear it in Carousel of Progress as well. We get a call about a guest who's headed down to Coronado Springs, staying club level. Her sister is going to spoil her with a trip. And so we give her some pointers on whether she should drive to the parks, take Disney transportation, how to get the most out of that vacation. We also talk about Halfway to Halloween, which is coming this week down to Walt Disney World. This and much more coming your way on today's show. Don't forget our podcast, always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Adventures by Disney vacation. And here's the best part. No additional cost to you. That's right. Disney pays us, not you. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys make all these shows possible. So again, a huge thank you to you. You can support us as well. Just $5 a month and you'll get a bonus show every week. It's called Mike in the Midwest. Coming over this week. Check it all out. It's patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast.
Ready to take a trip to the world? You found the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the BOGP Open Line for Sunday night, Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, 2024. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from beourguestpodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Howdy, hey, hi. How are you? We are going to be taking your calls for the next hour at 407-413-9395. That's 407-413-9395 with my co-host, my partner in crime, Scotty G. What's up, Scott? Happy Cinco de Mayo, amigo. What's going on?
Happy Cinco. Cheers. Got my jalapeno pineapple margarita. It's yummy. Yeah, happy to be here. It's funny. The day started off so cloudy and so rainy while we golfed, and we drove like an hour out of town to play golf today. And the second I come home, like the sun just like comes out. But that's fine. Sometimes you don't want it blazing hot when you're golfing, though, to be honest. So, but it was a fun Sunday. Happy to spend some time with you and take some calls. It's my favorite time of the day, for real.
It is. We're wrapping another great weekend here by taking your calls, talking some Disney tonight, and we have some topics to bring to the table. But you got your golf. How's the golf game progressing here through the spring as we get close to moving into summer?
Well, my goal always is, as sad as this sounds, is to break 100. I like that double-digit score, and for years I never did. But I broke it a couple times already this year. I won't spoil it, but there might be a little video on how I did today, and let's just say it might come down to the last hole. So little tease, right? Leaving it on a cliffhanger there. How am I going to do on the round of golf that I played today? But it's getting better, Mike. I just got to figure out the driver because I'm hitting the 4 hybrid off the tee, but it's money. It's like the senior citizen golf is what I call it. Because like I'm hitting the fairways consistently, but I have like no yardage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Don't go distance. Just keep it between the trees.
Yeah. And it's working. I mean, it's working, right? Like golf is more fun when you're not in the trees and taking penalty strokes like 6 or 7 times around, which is what I used to do, which is why I was always shooting in the hundreds because I had so many penalty strokes. But it's getting better now. I just got to figure out how to hit that driver. Maybe this will be the year I figure it out.
Slow progression. It's just like running, right? Just just get a little better every day. My Cardinals are taking the opposite approach. They're getting a little worse every day as they go up. But whatever.
I thought the Tigers were doing great, and then they got swept in New York this weekend.
Dude,
so
we lost 2 or 3 to the Sox. I didn't think it was impossible, but yes, it happened this weekend.
And you lost 2 out of 3 to the Tigers, and it could have easily been a sweep.
Dude, it's so bad. It's so bad. I can't even talk about it. Anyway. Rocking the old Casa Guillardo shirt here for Cinco de Mayo. If you don't notice, if you're in St. Louis, This was back in the day the best Mexican sit-down restaurant in St. Louis. It's where my wife was a waitress back in the day. She served tables here. It was the place to go in high school. You went there like after homecoming. They had the thing to get there was called the Ramon's platter, man. It was like the sampler, had everything. So I'm rocking the old Casa Gallardo Mexican restaurant and bar in honor of Cinco. God, I love this place.
You know, I'm gonna see you in like 3 weeks.
I know.
We're gonna be out in your area, so I'm excited for that.
Be here in the studio. That's right. We'll go live there. And we have a question here in the Instagram as people are tuned in, and it is CSB10 Salam says, Mackenzie from Minnesota. Have either of you visited Disneyland Paris? Any tips or must-dos? Unfortunately, no. But Scott, you're going to be there shortly, so you've been researching.
Yeah, I mean and I'm going to be there for research purposes only too, right, Mike? No.
Well, you're going to be there quick. And the Discord has been just showering you. The Clubhouse has been showering you with tips.
That's what I was going to say. If they're not on your BR Guys podcast Discord, that's where they need to go.
It's ours. It's all of ours. Yeah. We all share in the Clubhouse.
But there's some great, you got a great international channel where everyone talks mostly about Disneyland Paris. I mean, we'll throw in some breaking news like in some of the other parks, you know, like Hong Kong and all that. But it's been a lot of topics on Disneyland Paris, probably because a couple of us are going this summer and there's some pass holders even out there. So yeah, I'm definitely excited. I just want to like enjoy, like, I don't want to like go crazy. I'm only there for one day though. So that's tough, Mike, right? Like you want to like try to do it all, but like, you know, that's not my park strategy anymore. Like I like to soak it all in. So going to definitely try to do some of the e-ticket things, but I want to take it slow. I want to have a nice meal somewhere, you know. It's going to be different, but familiar. And that's what kind of like what you had a couple of years ago with Disneyland out in California. Like I'm excited to have that new experience again. It's going to be so great.
I think it's easier to go like a madman though when you've never been there, and especially when you know like, okay, we got limited time and you have one day, so you're not going to be tempted to rest or slow down or anything. You're just going to be like pants on fire from the time it opens till the time it closes, and be like, we'll rest when we get home because you know of that. And of course it'll be cool to get your perspective from the point of view of you had one day, so you were forced to make a lot of choices, right? Because time was not in your favor. So you had to say, I had to sacrifice this for that, you know, and I had to decide this is going to be more important to see because, you know, you had 12 hours and that was it. You know, it's going to be interesting to see what you choose to see and what you leave on the table.
For sure. There actually is, and I'm researching it, kind of like a front of the line pass or something, you know, that where you can do a lot of things quickly, and it's really expensive though. but to your point, like it's only one day that I have. So like, what am I valuing more here? But like, if it was like a normal kind of trip, you know, like I'm all about those like paid experiences as much as they hurt the credit card, but like it helps with time, and time is so valuable. But like, it's already a long trip. Like I'm already spending like a ton of money on this.
When you figure like what you paid for the plane tickets and what you've paid for hotel, you know, you've gone all the way to Europe. Like you've paid 99% of the cost, go the extra 1% and enjoy yourself.
You might as well just do it. Right. So I'm kicking around that idea. So I might throw that as a topic in the Discord event, ask if everyone's ever done whatever it is, like a premium pass. Like I can't think of what the name of it is offhand, but I know it's out there where it's basically like you can do all the stuff with no waits. And that sounds pretty good for like a one day traveling that many miles.
Yeah. So Mackenzie in Minnesota, she's only going to be there for one day as well. So this is going to be very helpful for her. She's going over to the Discord. She says she's not been there, so she's going to go. So again, it's just beourguestpodcast.com/Discord. It'll throw the invitation out. Boom. You just click it. You're in. So check on the international channel. You'll see all the discussions. And the good thing, I don't know if people know this about the Discord, on the left-hand side above the channels, there's a search box. And you can search any topic and it'll find that topic in all the channels. I didn't even know this until a few days ago. So now that we've been kind of going, you know, pretty busy here for the last couple of months, we're gathering a lot of information there. So if you're looking for, like we've been having a conversation over the past couple of days about Trattoria Al Forno. So if you're curious about what we're saying about Trattoria Al Forno, type that into the search box and you'll get kind of all the conversation on that. Or like I said, Disneyland Paris, and it'll pop right up all the conversations we've had about that. So if you want to kind of catch up and you haven't been in there, that's a good starting point there. But the international channel is the place to go there, Mackenzie. So yeah, we'll definitely do a show on that.
And a tip for Mackenzie, I mean, it might cost a little bit more. I think staying on site will help because you get that early park entry, and then it's like a short walk. I think like Disneyland Hotel to the parks. I could be wrong on that, but that's kind of how I'm thinking it is, Mike. And we talked about that extra hour in the parks. That can go a long way when you're that early and ahead. So like, highly recommend if you can swing it to maybe be on site, because that will be a huge benefit too.
So we are both getting ready for cruises. You're going to cruise over in Europe on Royal. I'm getting ready to cruise Disney Cruise Line on the Fantasy. We are 61 days away from our cruise. You're in the 50s for your cruise. Again, we're waiting for your calls at 407-413-9395. We're standing by with margaritas. Cheers. Happy Cinco. Ready to give you a cheers as you call in. But where do you stand as far as, 2 months out, a little less than 2 months for you? I'm right at 2 months for me. Like, what are we planning on right now? Like, where are we? Because like, I don't know how Royal does it, but like, we can't do any more check-in until 30 days for us. I know it looks like you're.
So I'm right at a check-in. So
okay.
45 days is a check-in point. So I'm actually going to be doing that tomorrow, which is kind of funny. Like, I kind of have an advantage here because it's out of Europe. As Mike, typically I know we've done this for podcast cruises too. We have like a midnight check-in party, we're all like kind of chatting, like who can stay up the latest, who can make it to midnight to check in. Well, going to be a lot easier because midnight in Southampton is 7:00 here for me. So like, that's going to be jackpot, like I don't have to worry about stressing to be up late. I just got to worry about trying to do it while I'm on the podcast with you tomorrow, but excited for that. And it's all new to me. Like, I was trying to like figure out where to put my passport information and all that, Mike, because they don't have any of that. And I'm like freaking out. Like, oh my God, we're going across the country. They got to have our passport information. We're never going to get off the ship. How do we get there and all this? Turns out you don't actually put that in until you check in. So a lot of like my stresses I had nothing to really stress about until I check in. But like, then I have time, right? You check in, you get your port arrival time, and then boom, you can add in all that other stuff, So.
Yep. So we have our first call of the night. So we'll talk about my process because I have an update to last week's show coming your way. Right. After this. Things are happening in our state.
But it feels so weird. Like, I'm so used to Disney Cruise Line, like their check-in process. It feels a lot different than Royal Caribbean. So it feels a little weird. And like, I think I talked to this with you. I'm going to do so much comparing between the two.
It's fun though. Like, I mean, it is kind of nice to kind of venture out and see how they compare and contrast, right? And see, nothing wrong with that. That'll be fun.
Exactly. I know we got a caller. I don't want to leave him hanging.
No, that's exactly right. But yeah, totally. So who's our caller tonight? Who's joining us?
Hey, this is Trisha from Iowa.
Hey, Trisha from Iowa. So I got to ask you, I mean, Caitlin Clark, right? I mean, anybody calls from Iowa,
yep.
Right?
Yep. We saw her play. It's pretty awesome.
So are you an Indiana Fever jersey owner yet?
I am not. So.
I keep seeing it on my feed on Instagram, like I'm resisting, but I have a page that works in women's basketball, and I assume I'll have one soon. So anyway, what's on your mind?
I'm actually headed to Disney on June 1st, and I just found out 2 weeks ago. My sister surprised me with a trip, so
wow,
she's paying for me to go,
wow.
And we are staying Coronado Springs Club level. So
okay, so we stop right there. We all need a sister like you. Okay, you are winning totally, all the way around here. This is good.
Yeah. So I haven't stayed Coronado Springs in years, so I don't have. So I'll take any tips for that. And they're going to have a rental car, my sister's family. I'm leaving my family at home because I have teenagers and they have too many activities. So it's just me going with my sister's family. And so, yeah, any tips for like, should we drive to the park? Should we use Disney transportation? I thought Scott would maybe know that. He seems to get rental cars more often.
He does. And let me just say, you're winning all around, man. You're leaving teenagers behind. You're going with your sister, like she's hooking you up. You don't even have to wait a long time to go. Like, you're winning on like 17 levels right now. I mean, and you're going to Coronado. Scott and I love this place, and you're staying club level, which is like the best of the best. So Scotty G, talk about it.
I can't speak to the club level. Unfortunately, that's something I have not done at Coronado. I've done a lot of things, but not that. But yeah, super excited for you, Tricia. And to your car rental. So I love renting a cars, as you were just saying, and I really love doing it at Coronado. And that's because I feel like Coronado is so centrally located on property. It like meets right at Buena Vista and World Drive, which like to me is like the center point of the whole property. So it's easy to get to Animal Kingdom, easy to get to Epcot and Studios. So I love driving there personally. Because it's quick, and there's something about the bus. Like I do like the bus. Like it's fun. You see the atmosphere of the family's excited for the day. It's fun for me to see. But sometimes I just want to get there quicker and not wait for a bus. So oftentimes I'll drive, with the exception of course, being the Magic Kingdom. Just the way the parking structure is, you get just drop right off there in front with the bus. So I always take the bus to Magic Kingdom when I'm at Coronado and drive everywhere else.
Okay. Even with hoppers, we have hoppers, so that. Do you just drive between parks if you're hopping, or do you leave the car at the first park? We just normally take Disney transportation, so I'm not used to having a car.
Yeah, so I normally when I hop, I tend to go back to the resort and chill for a little while, and then I'll go back to another park. So I normally don't go from park to park directly. There's usually a stop in between. So if you're doing that, I mean, it might help because that's a really nice thing about Disney transportation, especially with the hopper. Like you can go from like Animal Kingdom to Epcot with bus transportation. And that's really nice. It saves you that extra step of like, having to get to your car, then have to park again and all that. So if you are using for park hopper, I might now that I know that detail, I might change my answer slightly where I think maybe the bus transportation is the way to go. Cause I think that's going to be a little more direct for you if you're going from park to park using the bus. Wouldn't you agree with that, Mike?
Yeah, I would definitely. Yeah. I mean, especially if you're starting at the Magic Kingdom, take the bus. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I'm with Scott. I mean, driving is helpful, but Disney transportation isn't bad from Coronado. I don't mind it because, I mean, I never rent a car and I never have any issues with the Coronado's transportation at all because, like Scott said, it's so centrally located. Say you take a bus from the studios, you're across the street. Same thing for Epcot. You're really literally across the street from Coronado, and Coronado's considered an Animal Kingdom resort. So you're really not that far from Animal Kingdom either. So if you take a bus from any of the parks and then Magic Kingdom, you don't have to deal with, you're not dealing with parking in the TTC and all that jazz. So really, I don't mind Disney transportation at all. But that's just me. Okay. I mean, cars though, you have, you control your own fate. You're not going to be standing.
Right.
You're going to have a seat. And
the bus stop at Coronado can be, if you're going to be in the tower, so that's that last stop. So sometimes
that's true.
It rolls through. You're going to be standing every time. I feel like depending on especially if it's early in the morning. So that can be kind of tricky too. So that's why I like the car personally.
Which I find interesting because like your club level in the towers are the best rooms, yet they're not always the optimal stop, which is kind of interesting.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I've always thought that's weird. So what do you guys have planned? What have you guys kind of planned?
It's also our first time going in the summer, so
it's fine. It's fine. I mean, you're from Iowa. You're hardy. You're a Midwesterner. You'll make it. People complain about the heat, but I mean, it's there's air conditioning down there and there's pools and you have enough sense. Just take a break. When you need to. You'll be good. So what do you guys have planned? Anything special? What are you excited about?
Well, we were just there last year, so we haven't had to go too long without being there, but I just love to be there. So we're trying we're going to Whispering Canyon, which we've never done before. And we're going to Ohana, which I've never done before. So
two good ones. You'll love those.
Another reason why I like the car, because you can just drive to those resorts.
Yeah, those are good. Yeah, that's besides the parks, that's where having a car sings. When you're going to ADRs at another resort, that's when you drive. Okay. If you're going from if you're not going straight from say the Magic Kingdom to Ohana or the Magic Kingdom straight to dinner over at Wilderness Lodge where you would take a boat. But yeah, totally. That's when you take the car for sure. Cause that's comfortable. You just go back to Coronado, change, drive yourself over. Yeah.
So what meal are you having at Whispering Canyon? Is that going to be a dinner? It's funny. We were just talking about that in our atmosphere episode.
Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think my sister booked I think it's 5:30. So I think it's going to be an evening meal.
Like it.
Got to get the skillet. So good. It's a lot of food. It is a lot of food. It's so good.
That's when it would be nice to have my teenage boys along.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, they destroy that. Totally. Yeah, you'll get your money's worth out of that. Totally. So now you guys go into, do you guys typically, are you like the folks that get their rope drop and stay in the parks all day, or do you take midday breaks, or do you stay till park close? Like, how do you typically do the parks?
We rope drop. Last year we were there. We stayed at Yacht Club last year so we could walk. We walked to Hollywood Studios, and we were the first ones in Toy Story Land at Slinky Dog. You couldn't even see another person near us. So we were we were right up at that rope and first one's in.
That's how you do it. Early bird. Because the thing is, you get ahead of everybody else, and the rest of your day is just gravy because you get stuff done, and then everybody's rolling in at 9, 10, 11 o'clock. You've already done all the big stuff. They're trying to catch up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart.
Last April, we rode everything in Hollywood Studios twice.
Wow.
So
what's your favorite attraction?
We've never done that before.
I just like hearing, like, what's your what favorite attraction?
Tower of Terror.
Nice. Classic.
And
One
Guardians of the Galaxy.
One thing you gotta do though, Trisha, I mean, you were talking about these ADRs, but I mean, obviously this is on your radar too, but staying club level, you gotta take advantage of those club level benefits as well. Like, I'm very curious about, like, Mike, like, I know you would probably want to start your day there, like with a little breakfast or a little snack or something before you get going, like depending on how early it's open before you hit to the parks, because I know you like the rope drop, but I'm sure that's on your radar. But yeah, I would definitely be spending lots of time in the club level lounge for sure.
Totally. I do a little flyby and get a little, goodie bag to go.
Right.
Yeah. They have good stuff. Pam Forrester says it's one of the best club level experiences she's ever had. Pam Forrester raves about Coronado's club level. So, and that's saying something because Pam Forrester goes to all the nice places. So you're in for a treat. She goes places I only dream of going.
One time only thing, so I'm going to enjoy it.
Well, you deserve it. That's awesome. I'm glad for you.
Sure.
You're gonna have a good time.
I hope so.
Wait, well, give us a call back and let us know how it goes, and we're excited for you. Tell your sister, man, that's cool that she's doing that. You guys are gonna have a great time.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, safe travels and have a blast. Tell Mickey we said hello.
All right, will do.
All right, see you
Bye.
later.
Thank you, Trisha.
All right.
I like that I'm all about the last minute trip and then a last minute like expensive pay trip. Like, hello.
Dude, I know. Nobody's calling me for that. 407-413-9395. That's 407-413-WDW5. If you don't know, that's a vanity number. 407-413-9395. Give us a call. We'll talk Disney with you and have a good time. So, halfway to Halloween looks like it's happening this week. I guess we are halfway to Halloween. It is the second week of May. We've survived May the 4th and Revenge of the 5th and Cinco de Mayo and all that stuff this weekend. I mean, I've had Star Wars on my TVs all weekend.
Yeah, that cracked me up. I posted about that in the Discord. I'm just like, did someone just like an executive just realize like, hey, like we haven't done this yet. Like, let's just let's make a post on the social media, put your teams together, come up with a plan, and let's share it tomorrow. It just seems like it was just so rushed. Like, where did that come from? Like, I don't know.
I mean, it's got to be on there. They got to have some kind of giant calendar somewhere,
For sure, but like, why did they wait so long? Like, I don't know. Like,
was it not halfway? Like, I haven't done the calculation. Is it halfway? Is it?
It's
beyond
halfway. And like, I love someone's point. Like, it was like, well, July 3rd will be the first Halloween party, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
But they normally like will let you know ahead of time, like, hey, in a week from now, like I think that's how they've done it the last couple of years. Like, hey, like on this date we're gonna announce it, and it was like a week or two ahead of time. Like, it's just like tomorrow is the day. Boom, we're gonna let you know. Like, it's kind of, I don't know. I thought it was kind of interesting.
Yeah, but I don't think they'll like. Even so, I don't think the tickets will go on sale tomorrow.
The tickets won't go on sale.
Yeah, they'll probably say like Thursday or something. I give you they'll probably give like 2 or 3 days. I would guess. Yeah.
But halfway to Halloween to me would be like April 30th. So I don't know what. I honestly think someone just forgot about it. Or they just didn't have something like approved like that.
I mean, maybe
they didn't have like sign off on an executive to approve these dates or whatever, and now they finally are getting it.
I should.
That's just my opinion. In the business world, like I know stuff like that happens, but like that's just my.
I shouldn't even say this story, but so our garage door broke like on Thursday night, right? So we couldn't get the garage door to go up. Like it went up like a half an inch. Like you push a button, it go. It only go up a half an inch. So my Jeep is stuck in the garage. The lawnmower is stuck in the garage. Grass is super tall because we're trying to wait to the weekend. It's been raining and hot, like just raining and hot. So the grass is growing like a weed. So Riley goes out to go to the bathroom. Like she's a huge golden doodle. Like we're losing Riley in the front yard at this point. She's so, like the grass is so tall. We're like the HOA is gonna like give us a $7,000 fine because our grass is getting so tall. Now we can't get the lawnmower out of the garage because the door will not open. The spring broke. We call the company. Like we can come out on Saturday between 10 and 2. We're like, please, can you come out as soon as possible? Like we're gonna get in so much trouble by our HOA, but husband can't get his Jeep out. Lawnmower strap. Anyway, they finally come out and fix it for $1 gajillion on Saturday. The guy's in trying to run like our credit card on his little handheld scanner thing. I don't know what he had. I'm working at the kitchen table on my laptop because it's Saturday, so I'm trying to, not be in the office. And like his thing isn't working. And so Pam, my wife, man, she called it. She's just brutally honest with the guy. She's like, yeah, your IT works just like my husband. He kind of works with Disney and their IT doesn't work ever either. She's like, they're $1 billion company that can't get their infrastructure to work when it comes to IT. I'm like, she's kind of right. He cracked up because he couldn't get the credit card to run. He's like, yeah, I might have to just call this one into the home office. I'm like, that's pretty much what we have to do sometimes too. Because
or they're going to be like, could you write a check? And you're like, I don't even own a checkbook.
Because he's like, but they're Disney, right? He's like, they make all those cool rides and stuff. I'm like, you're exactly right. I was like, but ask them to run a website, different story. I'm like, ask them to take a payment for a race, like people signing up for a race or like a special event. No.
To be fair though, their website has a lot of data on it, from like room reservations and dates, like the calendar, to ADRs, like restaurant. I mean, there's so much stuff on there. Like I can't imagine. Like my profile alone has like 65 magic bands. Like I can't imagine how much data that's totally about the next person.
I agree. Mine has probably that many too. Because when I check in and like I tell them, they look at my profile. They're like, "Oh sir, you've got to delete some of these magic bands because but it's their own doing, because like back in the day, they would send you a magic band for every check-in, not just every trip. I do like 3 stays.
The Gardner family issue with that, and how like we've had lots of many issues at the resorts because of that. And what they did is tell us to deactivate them. So we deactivate them, but they still it's still like a data collection on my Disney experience. Like, I just think my company, from like a data retention standpoint, like they kind of like that. If it's over 7 years, like just remove it from the website. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like that slows down a lot of things, me personally, because there's so many like data points.
No, I agree.
With so many different profiles, it's got to be a nightmare to look on the back end. Like, I can only imagine, but it's frustrating though for a user, for sure.
But I think companies they're just data hungry, right? Is that because I mean I've heard also a lot of tech podcasts, right? And data is like the currency, right? They just want as much data as possible out of us, and I think they want that. But I mean, you don't need that plain. Think about those first magic bands.
I don't need that gray magic band.
Exactly. Dude, they were so that like I'm never wearing that thing. It was so ugly. I never even took it out of the box. It went directly in her drawer.
That's the most frustrating thing. Like before, you could like decline them, because now you can or like you just have to actually go in and order them now.
I used to give them back to the check-in desk.
Yeah, you would go to the check-in desk and they would have it sitting there for you. Like, no, I don't want this.
Yes.
Like, why do you have it?
Yeah.
Oh man,
it was crazy. All right, we have a call here. Let's see. Grab this one. And I believe it's our friend Jimmie down in Texas. Jimmie, what's going on?
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are things down in the Lone Star State tonight?
Well, I wouldn't know. I'm out at Disneyland.
Oh, you went. See, look at that. You're out at the AEP. I'm sitting here working back in St. Louis.
I know, man. We're going to miss you this week.
I'm sorry. I just, had to sit home and eat fajitas with the family. So,
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to call in from the happiest place on earth.
Hey, that's my favorite place. I love it out there. So how have things been going? Give us the 2-minute recap.
Well, it's very crowded. But I was able to get in a few Genie Plus. I'm actually headed to DCA right now to ride Incredicoaster.
Nice.
And looking forward to that. And tonight we're going to watch the fireworks, I believe, from Galaxy's Edge, although I'm not sure about that. But looking forward to that. It's beautiful weather out here. Just really nice.
Did I see, okay, because Pam I almost said Pam Forrester. I'm getting my Pams confused. My Pam's crossed. That could be bad. My wife, Pam, last night, we were eating ice cream because my daughter Paige surprised us and came home last night, which was a treat.
Right.
She said that she saw that Melissa Griffith was in Walt's apartment yesterday. Did you guys get a special treat?
Well, now, okay, I think that she took one of the
She did a
behind
tour?
the scenes tours.
Okay. Because I was
Yeah,
like,
I
I was
saw
like,
her
I don't know if they
post it
all
up.
did a tour or what. I was like, 'cause if they all got to go in Walt's apartment, I should have gone.
Well, I was in Texas yesterday, so
Okay.
I don't know, but I think it was just her.
Okay. I was wondering. Yeah. Cause I was like, that is because she's like, how did Melissa get into Walt's apartment? And I said, well, they had the AEP out there. And I said, well, I didn't know they were doing that, but
Yeah, well, I didn't either.
no, but I said, knowing Pam Forrester, she takes care of everybody, and it wouldn't surprise me if
That's
she had a
right.
little surprise for everybody. But yeah, so God, I love it out there, man. That's so good. So what's the best thing you've snacked on or had to eat so far?
Well, I ate at your favorite place.
Rancho del Zocalo.
There you go.
Rock
I can't
on.
pronounce it, but yeah, I had the burrito.
Oh, well, you're a Texan. I mean, you got to like that. And
Well, yeah,
Cinco.
exactly. So it was actually really good.
I bet that place is a nut house today, though.
Well, it was pretty crowded, but I ate about 3:00 in the afternoon, so it was still a few seats available, but it was really good.
Yeah, right now it's probably just crazy. It's probably Survivor over there right now. I could imagine on Cinco de Mayo.
Well, I just watched. I'm headed over to DCA, but I caught the flag ceremony
Yes.
in Disneyland, and I've never seen that even in Magic Kingdom, and man, that is moving.
It is. It's so cool.
Sure is.
I've watched it many times, and one of the things that I tend to do, and I've kind of added this. I used to just watch it and then kind of walk away. But what I've done the last few times, and I don't know if people know you can do this, is that you can actually follow the veteran of the day if you just kind of hang out
Right.
as they bring the flag down. This is at Magic Kingdom. They walk them down Main Street, USA, and kind of hang a right down that little street. I forget what it's called, Flower Street or something. What's it? Scott, do you know what it's
Right.
called? There's that little street that's halfway down Main Street to the right. And
Yes.
and that's
Yeah,
where they
yeah, yeah.
like the family meets them and they give them the flag and a certificate. And all the cast members that were a part of the ceremony shake the veteran's hand. And then all the guests, if you would
Wow.
like, you can go and shake the veteran's hand and say thank you for your service. And I've done that
Yeah,
too, and it's pretty cool. It's super
great.
cool. Yeah, it's neat. It's
It
really
is.
cool.
It's a really neat thing to see.
Absolutely. And Disneyland too. That's even better, man. Well, I hope you. Man, I'm so glad you called in. That's. You got to tell everybody I said hello. Is Ben out there?
No, I don't believe.
I don't think he is
so.
either.
No, I spoke with him. He told me he had something to do with his real job.
I know. I hear you.
Hey, I hear you. I hear you. So.
Well, hey, you tell everybody
Our
we
real
said.
jobs.
Yeah, we'll tell everybody we said hello and keep having fun out there and keep making the magic for all those guests.
All right, will do. Nice to talk to you.
Can't say hook 'em, but I'll talk to you soon, buddy. See you later,
All right,
Jimmie.
All right. Talk
All right.
to you later.
Bye bye. Oh my
There's
gosh.
something I didn't even talk about in my trip report. I just thought about
What's
when
that?
you were just talking about that. Like something I've learned so much from this podcast when we do these like shows, like in the Discord and everything. Like so many people like visit and are passionate about different things, and there's so many wonderful things to do at Walt Disney World. But I'll never forget that caller one Sunday that talked about the firehouse and how like you can put like your patch in there,
Yep.
And I never knew that was a thing until that call. So on this last trip, I was telling the girls about it. So we walked over there and we started looking at the patches, and like not even like 3 seconds into it, we were looking and boom, we saw Lansing, like right
Shut
on
up.
there, like our hometown. Like how awesome was that? Like we were like instantly like drawn to it or something. But I got a photo, like I took a selfie with it or whatever. It was so cool to see though.
So that brings me to a point I want to ask you about, and I want to ask our chat about too, and everybody's tuned in. But real quick, Auda she's tuned in on YouTube. She's asking what the Discord channel is. It's brguestpodcast.com/Discord. Just type that in. I'll give you the invitation. Boom, you're right in there. Join in on the chat so we can see over there right after the show. I had to close it out there because everybody's chatting over there and it's beeping. But okay, so let me ask you this. When you're at Walt Disney World, are there any attractions where you hear your hometown referenced? Like close to your hometown? Like for Pam Forrester, for an example, Muppet Vision 3D, when they're like, they should move it back to Pittsburgh. Like I always think of Pam Forrester.
Yeah.
When I hear that, and there are St. Louis references, and I'm trying to think Carousel of Progress. I think they say St. Louis because
there's another place too.
They talk about like the World's Fair. I think in Carousel of Progress, they talk about St. Louis. I'm trying to think where the other one is.
St. Louis is in the Big Thunder Mountain as well. Like on one of those like signs, I want to say like when you're in the queue.
Oh, is it Missouri or St. Louis? I thought it was
it
might be St. Louis.
Wrong,
yeah. You're right. It is something close to home. Yeah.
I don't know why I think St. Louis is part of Muppets as well.
But I wonder like how many.
I always think about you and Pam when I'm in Muppets because I swear I could be wrong, but I think St. Louis is mentioned in Muppets as well. I don't know why. I'm getting that vibe.
St. Louis and Muppets. Let me think. And like Scott's from Tennessee, and he's right. Like Tennessee and the Country Bear Jamboree, a little bear named Tennessee. I think it's just cool.
I have a great one for me.
Okay.
Outside of the finding my fire department, I think that's kind of like a cheat because there's a lot of them. But if you go to the Hollywood Studios and dine in the fantastic Mama Melrose, there is a Michigan State Rose Bowl champion pennant hanging on the wall because they do like a lot of like California like memorabilia like throughout the restaurants.
Yeah.
And they're in the Rose Bowl right there, Southern California, Pasadena. They got a Michigan State Rose Bowl championship pennant as like the coolest thing to me, like the Spartans right there, like in Walt Disney World. I just love it.
What year is that from? Do you know?
I think it'd be like 89.
That's
somewhere
cool.
around there.
Well, see, and that's the year the park opened right there.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's really cool. That's awesome. I bet you that's what that is. That's probably 89.
I'll have to dig up the photo. I'll share it in the Discord, so everyone can see it. But like I love it. It's just, and you're right. It's cool when you see something from home, like whether it's like actually like really obvious, like in Muppets where they talk about, we should have moved the show to Pittsburgh or whatever. But it's cool when you like come across it like, like that, it's just like a little sign or a little tribute, like hidden somewhere.
Well, because we have, as long as we've had the podcast and as many people as we've met, like I always associate where these people are from. And when I hear a reference to that, like whenever I hear Lincoln, Nebraska, like it's Wade, right? That's just like, that's Wade, right? Because he's my Lincoln, Nebraska dude, like forever.
So I guess they're referencing Hall of Presidents.
But no, I don't think of like Abe Lincoln. I don't even associate that. Is that what Lincoln, Nebraska is named after? I guess maybe. I don't even know. Like I never even compared the two. I figured it was something else.
I just thought it was funny.
It could be. But like, I wonder like if people are like me, cause like I perk up when I hear there's other, I've heard St. Louis mentioned besides Carousel of Progress. So there's somewhere else and it's bugging me. Cause I want to say it's in another park even where they've mentioned St. Louis, but maybe it wasn't the Magic Kingdom.
I know St. Louis is twice. I don't know why.
It's because, you know why? It's because of the World's Fair.
Oh yeah.
Because the 1904 World's Fair was in St. Louis. So that makes it kind of easy that anytime they reference the World's Fair in 1904, you're gonna hear St. Louis probably. But it is kind of fun when I just wonder if other people hear it. Like if you live in, I don't know, like Cleveland, like is Cleveland ever mentioned anywhere at Walt Disney World or, Knoxville? Cause they had a World's Fair.
I mean, they're not going to reference Ohio anywhere. Come on.
Like, yeah, exactly. Or like, Atlanta. Is Atlanta ever mentioned anywhere at Walt Disney World? That's a huge city, but it's more of a current city though. Like it doesn't have much of, it has a history, but it's more of a contemporary history than like a St. Louis. Like we've peaked. Mm-hmm. I just wonder about that stuff. I'm just old.
Feel like we got to do this as a topic now.
I know.
We don't research very much.
We're not a researching show. It's just we just throw it. We just spitball out here. Is St. Louis mentioned? Andrew says is St. Louis mentioned in the American Adventure. That's where it could be, but I don't think it is. I'm trying to think if it would be in the American Adventure because like where. Like, okay, so like Philadelphia, see, Philadelphia is mentioned everywhere, right? Because all of history happened in Philadelphia. You got all the Declaration of Independence, Congress, all the, that DC, New York City, like all that's Boston, that stuff's everywhere. All the East Coast, like, New England areas. But when you get out west, Chicago, is Chicago referenced very often? That's a huge city.
Man, I don't know if it is though.
trying to think where you'd hear Chicago around Walt Disney World, because that's a big city. That's like isn't that the third biggest city in the United States? I think behind New York and LA.
Yep, it is.
It's like an on-air 407-413-9395. Bail us out. Give us a call. I've just been thinking about this because I perk up when I hear St. Louis, because here's another Midwestern thing. Just while we're sipping on margaritas on Cinco de Mayo and podcasting, which is probably a bad combination.
Maybe Pittsburgh is in Carousel Progress. Like, I think, sorry, I don't know. I think
Pittsburgh is
and St. Louis are in the same.
Pittsburgh is in the Carousel Progress.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Because there's a radio show that comes out of Pittsburgh, I think. Or is it that TV station where the boxing match is, maybe?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Like grandma's watching the boxing match. Give him a left, you big lug.
The background music in that. Like the little the strings come through.
Yes.
Are you awake, Dia?
Give him a left, you big lug.
Oh, I love that scene so much.
I agree. No, yeah, but because I think he says it's out of Pittsburgh. The TV when it works. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, but I don't know. Like maybe other people don't even get perked up like when they hear their hometown when they're at Walt Disney World, but I do, and I think that's a Midwestern thing because we have like an inferiority complex. If you're from New York City, you probably hear about your town all the time, so you're probably like big deal. But when somebody mentions St. Louis, I'm like, oh. St. Louis, yeah. Listen to us. Like, no, Kansas City, though. I bet you.
Yeah, Kansas City's in Spaceship Earth, right?
Really?
Like when you go through like the radio broadcast after like Owens wins gold, isn't there like some radio stations right there?
Kansas City's in there?
I think so.
Are you kidding me?
Like maybe that's where my St. Louis is. Like I'm trying to give you St. Louis everywhere in the. I think
you're just trying to make the Parrish brothers happy or something.
But you know the scene I'm talking about where you go through.
I know what you're talking about, like where Jesse Owens runs.
They have like these radio broadcasts.
Yeah.
Like, why do I think that's Kansas City? Like this might be my worst podcast ever tonight because I'm just making stuff up.
I think you are making that one up. No, I don't know. Well, back us up here. This is why we have a Discord, and this is why the Discord is awesome because you're probably right. But okay, I know the part you're talking about where you're going past and they show like. It's right before the moon scene, right? It's right before we see the kids sitting on the ground watching the landing on the moon.
Yeah. And there's like these three operators like on the left, and then there's like a broadcaster, I think, like sharing that
It's Jesse Owens. Yeah. Yeah, it's Jesse Owens.
Yeah. And
but
why
Kansas
do I think
City,
that? Maybe it's probably New York, honestly. like that would make more sense, but
Kansas City.
I need to like find a video now. Like
I
have all this research. I have all this homework to do today.
We have all kinds. 407-413-9395. We did have some questions here. Deanna asks, when are they announcing Tiana's opening date? I definitely would have thought they would have announced it by now. I agree. I mean, we're at May the 5th at this point, and they're probably going to have pass holders preview. Well, they're going to have media previews probably about 1 month from now. I would guess the first or second week of June from what we've heard. I'm still thinking the 4th of July.
I mean, 4th of July makes sense. I mean, it's clear, like, a lot of things have been like Memorial Day. Guardians is Memorial. Seven Doors Mine Train was Memorial. Like, I think we're too late for that. I mean, they're just talking about Halloween tickets now. So I think that's not going to happen. So they like to do those, like, long weekends, those holidays. So 4th of July makes sense. I think Juneteenth makes sense, too. So June 19th could be a possibility, too.
That's true. Those would both make sense to really market and for the cultural, freedom and stuff like that.
Yeah. But if they say Labor Day, then
it's not gonna be Labor Day.
Yeah, I know. And I feel like the summer crowds are usually pretty lower. That's always been my theory.
Yes.
Like when I'm in there in the summer. So like, wouldn't you want to like bring it then? So like you can like boost attendance, so.
And I would think earlier in the summer would be better because the sooner you announce it, the more you have people booking to come for the summer. You know what I'm saying? Even July is kind of late because think about when the South and the Midwest go back to school. Like Pam goes back to school like the first day of August.
Yeah.
So if you do it the 4th of July, you got 3 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, Emily's doing band camp the last week of July. And then there's then 2 weeks later, boom, school starts. Like your summer's over by July. It sometimes feels that way.
All right. John says, any guesses when the new Polynesian Tower will open and what the price point will be? They're starting to paint it.
Yeah. I mean, that's tough for me to say knowing how Disney does this, but you want to get like those heads in the beds, right? Like you want to start selling DVC, want to start making money. So I don't know. And I haven't honestly, like as a DVC member, like I'm not that the biggest fan of it. Like I don't know what it is. Like I don't know if it's because it's like an eyesore a little bit right now. I don't know if you think it's an eyesore, Mike. I kind of do. So it's interesting to me, but I worry about all the other stuff. There's got to be like a restaurant in there at the top of the tower, right? Because that would be a big miss.
It has to be like a California grill like type experience at the top.
Yeah, it's interesting because you got the main pool at the Polynesian, and then when they kind of converted DVC, they like turned the other pool to a DVC pool. Are they going to make another DVC pool, or maybe that will just be whatever, like 2 regular pools, and then there's like going to be like this new DVC pool by the tower? I just worry about like all the things, and then Trader Sam's is just going to be a nightmare because you're going to have that many more guests, and it's so many guests flock to it, without that aren't staying there, as you know. So like, I just worry about like what's going to happen to Trader Sam's when you like double the capacity or whatever. That's going to be nuts.
Yeah. The problem with Trader Sam's is you got people pouring in from the Magic Kingdom and from all the monorail resorts. I mean, cause it's very easily accessible from that perspective. Yeah. And like you said, so what did Disneyland do though with the pools? They made another pool, right?
They did. And one thing, now that we need, I don't know why Trader Sam's got it brought up, but I love what they do at Disneyland with that, where you have to get a reservation. You can actually book an ADR for inside, and then outdoor is kind of like walk up. So, but like that's so small, like so many, and I feel like, I mean, I actually prefer the Disneyland Trader Sam's personally, but I think it's just so many people at Walt Disney World that would just be like impossible to get or impossible to do. Like it would frustrate people because we always talk about this with virtual queues and stuff. It's just like a lottery system. So if you want to show up 2 hours early, then like that's up to you, and you should be able to get in, right? Like we talk about that a lot with things. So,
and I mean, I think too with Trader Sam's, like an ADR system is fair. I mean, at least going in, like you have a spot. It's a fair system. I mean, yeah, not everybody's going to get in, but everybody's got a shot at it. All right, we have a call because I want to hold that because I'm curious what people think. But who's our next caller? Who's joining us?
Hey, Mike, it's Simon calling from the UK.
Hey, what's up, Simon?
Man, it's almost 1 in the morning.
Pulling on all nighter here in the UK tonight.
Happy Monday.
Nearly. Oh, yeah, it is actually.
The world.
Man, it's so late.
You got a fan club in our Discord, and we appreciate you. So what's on your mind today? Thanks for calling in.
Mike, you know what? No, I wanted to say a couple of things. Well, first of all, like, man, my email, YouTube, everything has just like not stopped since we did that podcast. Like the love from the community that you guys have got here is just awesome. Like they are the best. So I mean, I have it right. Everybody prefers Sully. Absolutely, he's getting all the love, but it's great, man. I was listening to Scott's trip report when I was driving the other day, and I fell about laughing when he was talking about pulling a hamstring, racing the kids up the stairs on the water slide. That is me and Sully. Although, like, we are literally like I'm throwing kids out the way to get to the top. So when he's telling me he's pulling hamstrings to get there, like, it just made me laugh. And that was an awesome trip report, Scott. It really was.
Well, I appreciate that, Simon. And I feel like, yeah, I understand. You can relate to that, right? Like you're trying to rush up there. You're beating all these kids. Like it's exciting. But your trip report just was unbelievable. I mean, that was a great week. Like a great week of episodes. Like you started off with that amazing trip report, and I told Mike, like, I can't compete with that. Like,
yeah, Scott almost backed out on me. I'm like, dude, you gotta do the show. You gotta do the show. Let's go.
But I don't know if I missed this because it was such a great episode, and I was like working. I was trying to stay as focused as I could. But did we ever find resolution on Sid's shoe? Did we ever find Sid's shoe, or did you talk about that in an episode? I can't remember.
So we managed to get later on in the trip. We got to Disney Springs, and we got to the Lost and Found. And we actually got Sully's magic band back. But unfortunately, Sid's shoe is lost to Pandora somewhere.
Oh, man.
We never got that back. Somewhere in Pandora, there is a white sneaker with a Woody badge on it. And it's gone. It's gone.
I love it.
It's good. It's good to make a sacrifice to the Pandoran gods every once in a while of one right shoe. I mean, it keeps the balance in the universe.
I mean, at least we got out of there with both children. That's the next thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. You had so
I'm
many
just
great
listening. I
one-liners,
wanted to
Simon. Like I
jump in and
love
say hi to you guys.
the Walmart comments were great about like Aladdin's cave or something like that. Like I mean, I had coworkers like look over at me like, "What are you listening to?" I'm like, "I'm just listening to a trip report, and this guy Simon is hilarious. Like I love it." They're not even Disney people.
But
I almost had to listen
it's
to
true,
it.
like it's true because I now go into like a supermarket here in the UK, and it's just not enough. It doesn't satisfy what I need now. Walmart has like broken every expectation I have of a supermarket.
I'm taking you and your family. We're getting in a car and we're going to Buc-ee's.
You mentioned that. I saw the pictures in the Discord. I mean, yeah, that looks like an interesting place, but I'm down for it. Like,
Oh yeah.
you know, let's go. I'll get my bag for life and we'll go.
Yes, we're getting beef jerky, brisket, and there's 100 gas pumps. We're going.
However, what I am definitely interested in though, and you guys talk about it a lot, and I've never got there yet because the pull of Walmart is too strong. I've not got to a Publix and had a pub sub yet.
Oh, dude, us three right here. Well, you know what? Well, Sully's coming with us. He's gonna have his pub sub with us.
Sully will somehow get us them for free. Somehow.
Yes, exactly.
We
Yeah.
talk the person
He'll
making
be-
the sandwich, and
he'll
all
be
of a
like-
sudden we got like 6 pubs.
And we're going to be getting free pub subs.
Exactly. Like, I'll meet you at the cold cuts counter. And well, boom, we'll all have free pub subs.
Yeah. I have like so many questions from that trip report. Like I gotta know, did Sully ever see the girl at the pool, like with his shirt out, you know, like later on in the trip that he got
digits. He got WhatsApp numbers.
Scott, I have to say, he definitely made friends with a number of girls, so I don't know if it was ever actually the same one, but he had his belly out all over that pool, so who knows?
Oh, that's
he was
so
killing
great.
it.
Oh man.
I need a vacation. I need a vacation with you all.
I'm saying. I know.
Because I loved your attitude
I mean,
too, Simon, about like, I know there was like the frustration behind, you know, Guardians going down like 3 times in one day and whatnot, and like adults behaving poorly and reacting like as adults should not, while, you know, Sully is just strong, you know, and like with his head up. Like I just loved like the attitude you all have, like lots of positivity, and it just made me smile. And I just love that there's other, and I know that's how our community is too. So it's just great to hear like people just vacationing the right way, you know, and it was just refreshing for me to hear.
Yeah, that's it. Because like ultimately, you know, you work all these hours, you spend all this money, and to be miserable because of a ride breaking down. I mean, it makes no sense. Like, make the most of it, find the good, and have a good time. That's what you're there for.
Exactly. Well said.
I agree.
So when's the next trip? You said 25?
So I've got Disneyland Paris this summer, and we've just booked for late August 2025 for Walt Disney World. We booked that this morning. So yeah, we're coming back, baby.
I saw the countdown. I saw the countdown in the Discord, looking good.
Yeah. We were umming and ahhing whether we were going to do, you remember, Pop, Art of Animation, Caribbean Beach. And we were actually leaning towards Caribbean Beach. However, one of my wife's really good friends and her daughter wanted to join us. And it's a bit of a stretch for them. And it'll be their first time. And so we're like, well, look, we know the ropes of Pop now. Let's go. We'll take you to Pop. We know what we're doing there. And then we can look at Caribbean Beach as a family at a separate time. So, yeah, we're really excited to be going back to Pop, bringing more people with us. And, hey, look, hopefully you guys will be around. I mean, I know it's a long way off, but, yeah, let's get together and have a pub sub, boys.
You know what? I'm honestly, I will look at maybe heading down for a weekend or something at that time, because we have enough time. It's a year and a half away. Scotty G, we could maybe make it happen, fly down, catch a quick flight, and just hang out for 2 or 3 days.
I wrote down August 25 on my sheet of paper.
Ready.
I'm going to put it in the calendar. So
I'd love to. I'd love to.
We've locked it in. So, yeah, that's going to be us coming into town on around the 14th or the 18th. The 18th, we go into Pop. So, but we like to come a couple of days before, stay off property, get the boys acclimatized and stuff, as you know. So, but yeah, we'll be into Pop on the 18th of August for 2 weeks.
Sounds good. And like you say, I mean, staying at Pop Century, that's a fun place to stay. And, you know, you're going to save a little money not staying at Caribbean Beach, where you could take that extra, you know, the savings there and maybe have a couple of extra experiences over the amount of time you're there, you know, maybe splurge on a couple better meals or, you know, just use that in different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, again, just going back to Scott's trip report and talking about hoop-de-doo, it's a must-do for us on any trip that we do. We did it when we went on honeymoon for the first time, and we were right on that same table as you, Scott, next to the piano. I mean, like you said, I could have been playing the low notes the same as you, and then Susie was literally dragged up on stage as a can-can dancer. And ever since then, we've been every year, and we love it. We think it's great. Like, the food's good, the atmosphere is fantastic, and now with the boys, I mean, they just go nuts for it. It's a win-win, honestly, and you get to go over to Fort Wilderness as well, so it's great.
Man,
it's gonna be fun.
I feel like I'm ready to book an ADR for our families to do that in August 25. I'm just saying, like, it's gotta happen.
Absolutely.
Because I always say, like, that would be fun with like a big group. I said that to Mike, and I think Mike's done it before with like our running group before. Like I've only done it with my family of 3, which is a lot of fun for us. But like just the environment, the atmosphere, and I think it'd be a riot with like a big group. I think
100%.
So.
Yeah, the bigger the group, the better at that place.
Yeah, because we've always been just like a group of, you know, first me and my wife, and then the 3 of us with Sully, and now 4 of us with Sid. But you see big tables like normally in the center of the hall as well. And there's like 8 or 10 of them, and I mean those guys. I mean they're up in arms. It just looks a hoot, you know.
Totally.
Oh man.
So you guys apparently Becca's saying you guys have a bank holiday tomorrow, some kind of a holiday.
Yeah, I'll be honest. There's so many days that are just scattered all throughout the year, and they never line up every year on the same day. They like Easter moves from the beginning of March to the middle of April from year to year. So I really struggle to keep track. So normally a few days before, Susie goes, "Oh, we got a bank holiday Monday." And I'm like, "Great, day off work."
So what's your holiday tomorrow? What are you guys celebrating? The King, or what do you got?
Do you know what? I'm going to have to literally, as we speak, look at the calendar on my phone.
I love it.
I couldn't tell you. And I'm going to do it. Like, this is terrible for podcasts because no one can see me doing this. But I'm scrolling my calendar.
This is amazing live entertainment right here.
I love this. I need holidays like this. Like, I'm off work, but I don't know why.
So this is literally called the early May bank holiday. And I think it's because it's the first Monday in May. So it's a bank holiday.
This sounds like something Scott would be off for.
I'm about to say, like, I need to talk to my company about setting that up in the States here.
Now, I'm sure, like, there's probably somebody listening from the UK, because I know you guys get a lot of UK listeners who's like screaming at me right now. How do you not know what this is for? It's like a deeply, important religious thing. And I just do not know. Like,
my company used to be owned by Prudential, the UK. We kind of branched off from them a couple of years ago. And yeah, they would have all these bank holidays, and we never did. Like, and we thought we got a ton. So like, we always said that we should be following Prudential's, calendar of operations. But
Scott's now he's not going in tomorrow because he's like, man, it's a bank holiday.
I just found a reason why not to. I was like, Simon told me.
I don't know what it is, but Simon said, it's like
Simon says, as the game says.
Ring the bell.
Oh yeah. That's awesome.
I had it fired up. I got the board ready for Cinco de Mayo, so I had it ready for this. So there you go.
Yeah, awesome. I don't know what the holiday is, but by association, I'm taking one.
Oh,
yeah. There you go.
I'll take it. I can't take it in sympathy with you guys. I wish. I got to work.
Yeah, I'm going to talk to my boss tomorrow. Well, we're going to make that happen.
Becca didn't know what it was either. This is the greatest thing. Everybody in the UK is off tomorrow, and nobody knows why they're off. This is like the greatest scam of all time.
Like the first day of summer, maybe. I have no clue. Not a clue.
We need one of these in the US. Just you're off tomorrow, but nobody knows why. We need one of these holidays. You guys rock.
We get one at the end of August as well. Like the end of August, the last week of August, last weekend is always a bank holiday. And I just don't know what it is. Maybe it's like the end of summer bank holiday. I don't know.
Man, You guys are living right, man. You come on vacation for like a month and you get off these holidays. You just don't even know why. We're not working on Monday. That's awesome.
Yeah, we get home from Disney. We're like, oh, what? Another 2 days of holiday? Yeah, all right, I'll take it.
And like I told everybody who emailed, I said, bottom line is you can't compete with a kid like Sully on a trip report. That's why the podcast was so awesome. And Simon's accent. I'm from Missouri. Simon's from the UK. I don't have an accent like that.
That's why I had no chance that week.
Scott's coming in, he's like, who's this Simon man just coming in taking over?
Yeah, he
What's
came in hot on Monday.
The most downloaded trip report in the history of the
Absolutely,
BRS
dude.
podcast.
Podbeam was like, slow it down, Buster, slow it down. I was like, be easy.
Also, man, you plays tomorrow. Because everyone's gonna. All right.
They don't know why they're playing tomorrow, but they're playing. Exactly.
Playing, yeah. I mean, that's how it happens here in the States, right? You got these holidays, and then like sports are a big thing, right? So
Yeah.
Premier League will be in action tomorrow.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, Simon, we got to roll because we're a little bit past the top of the hour, but have a great day off. And again, good talking to you. Don't be a stranger. We got to talk to you more when you have those holidays.
Yeah, we'll speak soon, guys.
All right. Take care, buddy. Good talking to you.
All
the best,
All right.
man.
See you
Bye-bye.
later. Bye-bye. Cheers. Simon is awesome. Oh, man. That's so
All
funny.
right.
He's off, but he doesn't know why.
1 a.m. there right now.
That cracks me up. The bank holiday, but doesn't know why. And Becca didn't know why either. We need some of those holidays.
I think Becca's here. I think it's her coworker that has.
Oh,
the
okay.
UK
Is that
holiday.
how it is? Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And Jessica's asking about the podcast. We are working on it. We've got a couple dates. We're close. But Pam is, again, MIA out at Disneyland training the travel agents. So we're going to get it when she gets back. We're finalizing it. We got to get finalized. But yeah, we'll be summer of 2025. This will be probably the last summer podcast cruise. 2027 will probably be a non-summer podcast cruise. We'll see.
I like that.
I know. Me too. It'll be fun to do something different.
Summer 25 will be interesting for me because that's like after graduation. So like Emily's really going to be driving what that trip is going to be. So we'll see. I don't even know what dates you're talking about. So I'll be curious to know.
Yeah, it'd be probably July of 25, but we'll see. We're looking. Okay, so we have to wrap this one up, but we'll have great podcast this week on Monday coming out here in just less than an hour on the feed as you're listening live. We have Eric from Connecticut talking about his very first, speaking of cruises, very first cruise on the Disney Dream. And I will tell you, just a little kind of behind the scenes. Eric was playing injured while we recorded this show. He's a school teacher, and it's the end of the school year, and he had a bit of a cough. He had a cough button, and he tried to hit it every time he felt like the tickle was coming on. And he did a pretty good job of that, but a couple coughs got through. So please bear with us on that. And if you're watching the video on YouTube, Eric didn't have a light in the room. So he fades throughout the show to where by the end of the recording, you cannot see Eric at all. He's gone. Like it's just a black screen. It's pretty interesting. It's almost like a special.
He disappeared.
It's almost like a special effect. So if you want to watch it on YouTube, Be Our Guest Podcast or youtube.com/Be Our Guest Podcast, it's pretty funny. Because he was sick, he was taking cold medicine, but he still wanted to do the show. We had to record it, so we got his thoughts on his first cruise. It's a little wild, but that'll be on the podcast for Monday. So it's his first cruise. Of course, Wednesday will have listener questions. Friday we'll have the panel show. Pam is still out at Disneyland, so it'll be Scott and Ricky and I, most likely, and we'll be talking Disney with you. So we'll have lots of shows this week, and this show will replay on Thursday on the feed. So that's where we stand. We want to catch you out over on the Discord in the clubhouse. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Discord. We'll see you over there. Lots of folks were over there during the show, so thanks for being over there. And our show is brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney adventure this week. Just go over to themagicforless.com and let them know you heard about them here on the show. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link. This weekend, I bought a new iPhone case because my old one, I finally decided it's grubby. It's so gross. Because I buy those super cheap, like it's called the brand Spigen, I think, or Spigen. They're like $9.99. And I bought it like the day it came out, like in 2022. And I was like, you know what, Mike? I got a $25 Amazon gift card from Pam for Easter. instead of cleaning this thing for the 7,000th time, just buy a new $9.99 iPhone case. And so I did. So if you're going to do that, use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And also thank you to our patrons. You guys make the shows possible. All this video hosting and hosting for the audio and the bandwidth and all that stuff costs a lot of money. That's where all that goes. So if you could do that, $5 a month really does help us out, and you get a bonus show if you do that. It's called Mike in the Midwest. Patreon.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. Give Scott a follow. He's got a lot going on over at Epscot, EPSCOT. You can check out his latest vlog, which is all about the mugs. You want to know about all of his Starbucks mugs, his trip to Starbucks, what his favorite Starbucks is, his macchiato, grande, venti. I don't even know because I don't drink coffee. But he went into the Starbucks and gave us a little tour, and he's been there, done that, and how they discontinued some of the mugs, and now they have a new Discovery series, and he does he pairs them up, and he's like, this one beats that one, and that one goes over here, and this one moves on, and I've been watching, man. I'm in. I don't even collect mugs. I don't drink coffee, dude. I'm all in. And Paige came home from Chicago. She's like, I've been watching Scott. I'm like, holy cow, like he's taking over. So I'm just saying, watch it, get in. And, and of course, like, I think I saw because at one point today I was watching Emily sitting in the middle, and she, I think, had a spoiler because Elizabeth was like when she said like she really liked the Disneyland mug the best.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth almost wanted to punch her or something, because I think you're supposed to save that to the end, because I haven't gotten to the end yet because this sucker is kind of long. But like,
it's a long vlog. It went way too long. So those that are watching, I
know. I just haven't got there yet. But I
tried to make it fun by dropping in some photos of some of the places that we went to that we talk about the mug. So you're so kind, Mike. You clearly have been watching it. Like, you did a great job recapping that.
It's so fun. But like, I remember because you're talking about how there's a Fantasyland one, but there was a whole series of 4 Disneyland ones. But then like Emily was like, I love this Disneyland one. I think it might be my all-time favorite. And then Elizabeth was just like, no, you're not supposed to wait. That's like the seal of the deal. You're supposed to wait till the end of the vlog to, and I get it, because like my kid would do the same thing. Anyway, check it out at Epscot. Everything he's got going on Twitter, Instagram, Threads. I'm at the same places at Be Our Guest Mike for the podcast stuff. We have a YouTube channel. I mean, check out all these videos at youtube.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. You'll see any of these videos. We record everything. And of course, the Clubhouse, beourguestpodcast.com/Discord. The conversation is always going on because people like Simon, while we're sleeping, he's posting away because it's morning in the UK, and he must stay up all the time because he just called in at 1 o'clock in the morning.
I don't think he ever sleeps.
Apparently not. And also Mohawk over in Scotland. He's always over there. Ian, he's over in Europe. He's always posting. We have people everywhere. Julie in Scotland, she's always posting. Yep. People all over the world posting over on our Clubhouse, and it is awesome. So come on over, join the conversation. All right, time to get out of here. We'll catch you on the shows this week. Lots of fun coming your way. So for Scott, I'm Mike, wishing you a great weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
You've been listening to the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. If you have questions, comments, or would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at beourguestpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon.